Hello there. Welcome to the ABC of the Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about the ins and outs of the real estate market in Abuja. My name is Rachel, and today we'll be discussing a very crucial question that every investor should ask themselves before buying land in Abuja. Joining me is Diamond Dunamis, a seasoned lifestyle, career, relationship, and real estate expert with years of experience in the Abuja market. Welcome, ma. How do I address you? Do I call you Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Okay, welcome to the show,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Dunamis.
Thank
What an
you.
amazing profile you have there. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Without further ado, let's dive right into the topic of the day. For the very first question, what is the first question that you must ask yourself before getting any land in Abuja?
Before you get a land in Abuja, you must ask yourself this question.
Okay.
First, how am I going to get a land? That's the first question you ask yourself.
Okay.
To avoid being scammed,
Mm-hmm.
to avoid fraud, to avoid entering the wrong hands. Because in Abuja, where a lot of people pose themselves to be landowners, agents that sells land that doesn't belong to them, if you're not careful enough, you're going to be buying a land in dispute or a land
Sure.
that belongs to another.
Okay.
So you must first of all be very much crucial about how to buy land. And that's investment, if you remember, is investment. And I also want to say this before we go over to the next question, that the most important thing you should do is to get a real estate expert, a consultant to give you a
Yes.
guideline. That is how you're going to get a land, that you will not be frauded, you will not experience scam, or you will not buy a land in dispute.
Amazing. What are some red flags that you think investors should watch out for when buying land in Abuja?
In Abuja, there are so many red flags.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay attention to the red flags, you will fall a victim.
Of course.
When somebody comes to you without a document of a land and it's pressurizing you to pay for the land, pay. This land is good. No document, it's not anything about the title, nothing. It's a red flag. So you going ahead to buy the land, you're just being scammed
Mm-hmm.
and you're a victim.
Yes. So how do you feel about Wike's crackdown on alleged illegal land ownership in FCT? What do you think about that? Do you think it's being fair or it's just being excessive?
I'm not going to say he's excessive about what he's doing, because everybody that does whatever he or she is doing in an office you occupy, it's important you walk according to the instructions given to you.
Okay.
He's not walking alone. Everybody is calling him names, but Wike is not walking alone. He's working based on the instruction given to and according to his office. Let me digress a little. Apostle Paul said, I magnify my office. If you don't magnify your office, you're going to be having issues.
Yeah.
Those things you don't do very well, someone else will come to do it.
Mm.
Now, these are people who are faulted.
Yeah.
There are some due processes in every land you buy, whether ROFO, whether CFO, governor's consent, deed of assignment. There are some let me say, a particular amount of money you're supposed to pay in some periods of years. So when you don't pay it, it accumulates. Let's say it's 200,000, you fail to pay it that year. You allow it 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. The money is now huge. You don't want to pay for it. And those of them who knew when they were buying the land that the land is in the wrong place, and you go ahead buying the land. So it's an illegal land. So when he's destroying it, are you going to be angry? So you should ask yourself, did you get a surveyor when you bought the land?
So one must also get a survey.
It's quite important. You can't start building without that. And even when you purchase the land, you need a surveyor to survey the land, to tell you if this land is on the road. He will tell you this land is on the road, don't buy it. So when you go ahead buying the land, when you're done building your property on it and they destroy it, you are a victim of yourself.
Just to add to what you've said, right? I think a lot of people are victims of this because they don't want to spend their money. They don't. You said right. We should look for expert, right? Land expert, right? They don't want
We
to.
call it a real estate consultant.
Ex-
The role of a real estate consultant
Yeah.
is first market analysis, financial analysis, investment strategy, negotiation, and they have legal compliance. These are the roles of a real estate expert or consultant. So when you get this person, you don't need to do the job. The person does the job for you. Like when you come to me and say you want to buy land, it is my job to go out there to know what is in vogue,
Yes.
the trends, the lands that it's okay for you to buy that will not land you into problem. It is my duty to go out there to also ensure that you don't buy land in dispute. That's the work of a real estate expert.
Okay.
So the market analysis is quite important. Then the financial analysis, I need to know your budget. I need to know the amount of money you have in your account, your financial goals. Before I go about, if you want to buy a land of 30 million naira and I'm presenting to you a land of 100 million, does it really make sense? It
No,
doesn't
it
make
doesn't.
sense. So I should be able to sit down with you and talk with you to know your financial capability, your goals, before you
Okay.
can proceed in that. And then negotiation, it is the work of the real estate expert
Okay.
to go out there to negotiate for you with the landlord or the land seller or the one who is representing the landlord. Talk about what we have to offer to you, not
Okay.
what you are going to sell the land. Because some people put the land in a fixed price, and at the end of the day, they don't sell it that fixed price. They come down. The legal compliance is helping you to do the documentations as regards to the lawyer, meet a lawyer, talk to the lawyer that will help you do legal processes that you need to ensure that the land is okay.
So how do I know that this person is an expert? Like, is it something that they just come and say, "Oh, I'm a real estate expert," or is that something that tells you that okay, this person, aside from what they say,
You're asking based on some people who poses themselves to be real estate consultant,
yeah,
which they are not.
mm-hmm,
For you to be a real estate consultant, you must have done real estate. Either you've grown from being a marketer,
okay,
you've grown from being a manager,
okay,
you've worked in different companies, and you have experiences. You've also closed deals, sell lands and properties. It's quite important. And then if you are not able to close deals, you also should have people working with you, a team. Every real estate expert today has a team. If you must excel in real estate, teamwork is necessary. You can't do it alone.
That makes sense. Thank you very much. What are some additional tips that investors should keep in mind when buying land in Abuja?
Make a research.
Yeah, about the land.
Location is quite important. Location of the land you're buying, the title of the land, the documents, the documentation. Please find out. If it takes you to go to AGs, go. I have dealt on land dispute, so I can be able to tell you. As a real estate expert, I can tell you vividly. If you buy a land in dispute, you will end up either losing the land or going to court every day. And that's not the aim of purchasing the land.
Okay, my own personal question. This one is totally off the camera, right? I always wondered how, when you buy a land and then some people come, some, should I say, touts, street boys or something, they come and they say, "This is not your land. This land has been sold to someone," or something like that. I mean, after acquiring all these documents and everything, is there a possibility that this kind of scenario can also happen?
Of course, because you either did not do a proper investigation.
Okay.
And let me also remind you that the land in Abuja belongs to the Baggies. In
Oh.
quotes. So those people that comes to harass you sometimes are the Baggies. When they come, they just want money.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Dunamis, for sharing your expertise with us today. It's clear that buying land in Abuja requires careful consideration and due diligence. Thank you very, very much. To you watching us, thank you for joining us on this show today. Don't forget to follow our guest on our social media platforms. Also, don't forget to follow us at Amuchan Properties on Instagram. Thank you and
Thank
see you on the
you.
next one.
Bye.
Bye.